welcome to another pro tip and also an announcement for something to look forward to. I've got a couple friends lined up to kind of do a Kevin Nealon style interview, hike and talk, or a hike with Mark, and that should be fun. I'm looking forward to that, and let's see if I'm a better interviewer than I am a YouTube creator. But while I was thinking of it, there we go. One of these friends I was going to interview, and this is a topic that I don't plan on necessarily even asking him questions about, but this he's about 10 years older than I and grew up in Blackfoot, Idaho, and has been an insurance man for ages. And the other night we were having dinner there and got talking about a zillion things, which got me thinking about wanting to interview him and this other friend and whoever is willing to let me interview them. But one of the topics we talked about, it's kind of a morbid topic, but something that's on my wife's mind, and we're getting that age where, you know, anything can happen. I had a stroke. I don't want to dwell on that, but you know, I could die any day. She could die any day. And she says, "Oh, we need to have a funeral plot. What are our kids gonna do when we pass?" And she's all stressed out about this, about it, also about a number of zillion other things. She worries more than I do, and that's what I think is we're good. Make a good team that way. She worries, I don't, but she makes me worry where I probably would be worrying. But this topic came up when we were talking to our friend who's an insurance guy, and she asked him about it. He said, "No, don't need to worry about that." He says, he was saying that, you know, do you know where you're going to be living when you die? Do you know if you're going to Japan? I mean, we talk about going back to Japan, or at least spending a lot of time there in our retirement, if not living there full time. And he says, "Do you know where you're going to be?" I said, "No." And he said, "Well, why would you worry about a funeral plot?" He says, "That's what insurance policies are for. If you have life insurance that covers something like that, that's probably the best. But he says, even if you don't, you can get a cheap funeral services insurance policy to just cover funeral expenses." So now that I'm kind of semi-retired, well, at least retired from Delta Airlines, and their benefits have gone away, I don't have any insurance right now. I mean, I have health insurance through it. I got that, but no life insurance or anything like that. And he says, "Send me your information. We'll look around for a good policy for you." I don't know how much life insurance I could expect to be at my head. He says, "A stroke's no bit." I mean, you know, people live after strokes for years and years and years, so it's not like a disqualifying, you know, precondition. And so he said, "Send me information and I'll look for something for you." So that's what I've decided, and I kind of was relieved to hear that I don't need to. Almost every day on our walk we pass this nice mortuary and graveyard up here on Bountiful Boulevard, and it says limited spaces available, and my wife sees this and goes, "We got to do something." But I was relieved to hear from him that he says, "You don't know where you're going to be. He says, when you die, your family just mails in the death certificate to your insurance company, and they send you a check for all those expenses, and you don't need to worry about it. So I was kind of relieved. Okay, I don't need to go up and negotiate a funeral plot with the mortuary, and not even knowing if we would even be living anywhere near here when I pass. Who knows? I hope to break a record for my family and live a long life, but who knows? Anyways, hopefully my new diet will facilitate that. But I was so relieved to hear from him that don't worry about that. Get yourself a policy. So now I'm worrying about that, and we got to hurry and scramble and think about what we're going to do for life insurance. But I thought that was such good advice, and that's just one nugget from this friend. There's so much about his life growing up on a farm in Idaho, Blackfoot, Idaho, and he says their life was kind of like what you see on Napoleon Dynamite, but I mean, I swear the other night we spent about an hour or more talking about potatoes, because it was fascinating to me. Potato farming. So much about this I never knew. I never knew how you planted potatoes, how you harvested them, and how you picked them, and why up in Idaho, with all this farmland up where he was, why didn't they grow anything else? Or I get they did grow maybe some alternate crops they'd rotate, but like a grain of something, but a grain or something. But he told the whole story of that, why and how Idaho became the potato capital of the world. It's a fascinating story, and I know it. To many of you, it may not sound interesting, but I don't know how many interviews he'll let me do. If the first one goes well, we have to get together and talk about, what topics we will talk about, but just some fascinating topics. And I'll just say this much. There's so many life lessons about growing up on a farm that I said, the youth of today are starving for this kind of experience, learning, and myself included. I was almost embarrassed at how I wasted my growing up years, and I did a lot of playing, and I had a happy childhood, but he learned the value of hard work, and they played while they worked, kind of thing, So I hope to give you lots of those stories. And then I have another friend that he's very well read in history and politics, and even Japan history and things like that. I look forward to having a walk and talk with him, and we're gonna hopefully meet for lunch sometime this week and talk about what we want to talk about when we have one of those walk and talk interviews. So look forward to some good things on my channel, more interesting than me just talking and yapping away. And I was gonna say, and then I have a good friend in what town is that? The corner candy, the corner of the. He just an interesting guy, and I can't even think of the town. In Salt Lake City. Anyways, Corner Canyon area. He grew up in Granite, Utah, and if he's willing, I don't know, he's kind of a shy guy. He's fascinating though. and he collects all kinds of fun and interesting things and toys, and the kids go over there, and the grandkids and the kids, and they go over there, and he's got every toy known to man, you know, vintage toys and stuff like that, that just the kids have never seen, that we all grew up with, and I mean, we could talk about a bunch of things, like even, and he has detailed memories of the games they played as kids, and the marble games, and the things that I guess I played marbles, but I can't remember much. I can barely remember the games we played in the neighborhood, or the rules to them, like hide and seek, and have the rules we applied to those. Or one time anyway. So there's lots of things I could talk about. A lot of interesting friends who I'd love to interview if they'll let me, and try to make this channel more interesting. I know it's boring for most of you, and hopefully I can get better at my guitar picking. Some people have expressed that I should focus on those videos, and yeah, I wish I had the chops to do that, but my fingers are, yeah, I'm just almost having to relearn the guitar, and I'm almost having to relearn tennis. And well, with tennis, it's not so much relearning it, but being able to move and run and move quickly, and left to right, back to front. It's so difficult, but I enjoy it still, and I love it. But anyways, hopefully we'll have some interesting interviews coming soon to a theater near you. So thank you. That's my pro tip and future announcements. Thank you. Bye-bye.